in Bleacher Report. Just a list of possible moves that will present themselves to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch in this upcoming draft. And I want to get into just some of the machinations of what could actually happen here. Ironically, the last time the 49ers had the NFL's 31st pick in the draft, they traded up to 25 to select
Brandon Ayuk.
That's right, Brandon Ayuk. It cost them a number 31 and the number 117 pick, a fourth rounder and a fifth rounder coming in at 176. So San Francisco currently has 10 picks in the upcoming draft. Let's talk about maybe moving up from 31. I agree.
And they moved up from 31 to 25.
Right.
So the team that was trading with them moved back 6 spots and got a fourth and a fifth.
Right.
That's not bad. I mean, I'll say this: I'd be willing to make that move backwards for a fourth and a fifth. We'll see.
You mean get the picks?
I'm saying, if the 49ers decided at 31 they wanted a player that was, projected to go in the 40s. Like I really like some of these players like Rook I like Michael Hall quite a bit from Ohio State. I really like Malachi Corley. I think Blake Corum's really good. I think linebacker is much more of a need, and I love Cedric Gray. All those guys are projected to go somewhere between, let's say, 35 and 50, and they're at 31. If they move back 5 spots and got a fourth and a fifth, I think that would be a smart maneuver for them.
So if you're talking about like Graham Barton or Amarius Mims or Tyler Guyton, some of the premier late first-round projection offensive linemen, one of the things that Bleacher Report was talking about was getting up to 26. The number 26 overall pick could be an ideal trade target for the 49ers for a couple of reasons. The Niners are going to be in the market for an offensive lineman, and a run on second tier of interior players could happen in the later part of the first round. To move up to 26 would, in a trade with Tampa Bay, would put the 49ers in front of the Arizona Cardinals at number 27, and the Cardinals can be looking offensive line in this draft too. So it would be jumping in front of a division rival to get a player that you think they might snake from you. A move up could land a player like Duke's Graham Barton at 26. It would involve one or two of the 49ers' fourth-round picks and the trade proposal from Bleacher Report to move up to 26 in Tampa Bay would be number 31, 124, and 132 to Tampa Bay for 26. So would you be willing to give 2 day 2 picks to move up 5 spots on day 1?
No. The way the draft is shaped, it's a top 12, top 15 kind of a draft, and then everybody's the same until like the 4th round. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I definitely would not do that. The only way I would consider doing that is if a blue chip guy fell. I don't view Graham Barton, who's a center guard, as a blue chip player. Guyton I like a lot. Mims is, I think, a little bit of fool's gold. I mean, you're talking about
Larry. That's my guy.
I know, but I mean, he looks great, but he doesn't play. I mean, it's like saying, "Hey, I want to hire a talk show host." Okay, great. Tell me about him. Well, he's only done 12 shows. I don't know why. Why has he only done 12 shows? Well, he's had this and that and this and that. It's like after a while you realize this is, you got to show up for work every day. So I'm a little, Mims looks awesome, but I gotta, he could be awesome. He could be a major whiff. This is where you got to really lean on your scouts. Of that group, I like Guyton the most. I think he's plug and play at right tackle. He played right tackle this year. He's a good run blocker, but even so, trading up at that point the only guy that I would be interested in trading up for those two top guys, J.C. Latham and Taliesin Fuaga. If you can't get those two guys, I'm not trading up for a tackle for sure.
The other suggestion from Bleacher Report is you slide up 3 slots to number 28, which would be less punitive in terms of what you'd have to give up to move up. A move to number 28 would be significant because it would put the 49ers ahead of the Detroit Lions, who, unlike the Cardinals, should worry the 49ers a little bit in terms of, potential playoff opponent. You just saw him in last year's NFC title game. The proposed trade would be the 49ers flip number 31 and 94 to Buffalo for number 28. Would you be willing to come off 94 to move up 2 spots?
No, absolutely not.
Well, again, it's hard to ask these questions because we don't know who's available. Availability and player that might have fallen changes the answers to these questions, right? We're just talking numbers and what the value is, but we don't know who the target would be that they were chasing. So it's a little tough to do this segment.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm thinking of is you're giving away the player that appears on the mocks in 94 at 94, and a lot of the mocks that I've done, that player's a really good player. So I'm not trading a really good player to move up 2 spots unless, and I'm trying to think like who could potentially fall that would actually really intrigue me. And like Latham is one. Maybe Latu, the edge rusher from UCLA, but I mean he's got all kinds of injuries and there's concerns there.
What about Jordan Morgan, the offensive lineman from Arizona?
Don't like him at all. I mean,
don't like him at all.
No, don't like him at all. He's a guard. He's not a tackle. He's got short arms. There's never been a tackle with his arm length that's ever made the Pro Bowl. I mean, my son Kev did a whole tweet on this a few weeks ago where it's like, that the average arm length of an NFL tackle is quite a bit longer than Morgan. Niners have always been a long-armed advocates. And then you look at the fact that there's like no short-arm tackle that's ever made the Pro Bowl.
So you're calling him Stumpy and taking him off your board, huh? Sorry, Stumpy.
I'm saying like if I needed a guard, I think Jordan Morgan's not a bad pick in the middle of the second round. But the idea that you would take this guy as an offensive tackle, I think is nope. Don't like it. Don't like the idea of it. To me, it's low end. It's like you did this before. It was called Mike McGlinchey. You went with a low end right tackle with some movement, questions at the 9th pick overall. I mean, it's like, why? Because he was safe and he went to Notre Dame and this and that. It's like you gotta draft big time guys. I mean, so what happened? You didn't give McGlinchey that second contract. You moved off of him. Why? Because you pretended he was a first round pick on draft day, but then he showed you over his career that he wasn't a first round pick, that he was more like a second or third round pick. And then you replaced him with Colton McKivitz, who's a 5th round pick, and you really didn't lose anything for it. So you can't, if the fastest way to get to irrelevancy in the NFL is take your highest picks and take these small swings and trying to go for the safe angle. It just doesn't work.
Instead of taking maybe the 4th or 5th offensive lineman off the board, maybe you're taking one of the 1st or 2nd corners off the board. Maybe a guy like Ennis Rakestraw, cornerback out of Missouri, the corner safety hybrid. I'm blanking on his name, out of Iowa.
Cooper DeJean.
Thank you very much. It's like a mustard. DeJean. Maybe that is the player that the 49ers think, all right, well, we would move up 1 or 2 picks just to get that guy because we now think he's the best guy on our board. The other thing that, again, this is just what Bleacher Report was throwing out in terms of potential trades. The 49ers, if they want to move into the first part of day 2 to take a player who unexpectedly fell into the second round, the 49ers could take a package and a handful of their day 3 selections to move up for their own, and also keep their own second round selection. Like the Houston Texans, they got a pick in the 5th or 6th round. They could be a target at 42. That's a pick that was acquired by the Minnesota Vikings. Houston also picks at 59 and not completely lose out on a second round deal with the 49ers if they were thinking about moving, just looking at targets to maybe move up. If you want to get really aggressive at the top of the second, would you be willing to
what does it cost? What's the cost?
Don't have a specific cost. This is more of a theoretical, just moving up to the top of that second round. You got, the Houston is sitting there with multiple picks, including a Minnesota Viking pick, which I think might have just gotten moved today in the Stephon Diggs deal.
Yeah, I mean, but the idea of keeping your second and using your other picks to move up in the second round, now that's kind of intriguing. I mean, for example, if you decided, okay, I want to get 3 or 4 great players out of this draft, and you really, really like I love Max Melton from Rutgers, the corner.
Yeah.
You could get him probably comfortably in that second round.
By the way, that's a name that I didn't even see like a couple weeks ago. His name is all over mock drafts now.
Well, he ran 4.37 at the combine, and the Niners have, I guess, met with him like 5 or 6 times. And he's Bo Melton's brother. So, I mean, there's that football family. You kind of know what you're getting. He's incredibly physical, but he ran 4.37. So you're getting a physical corner who also has that long speed to run down the field, and he's super tenacious and in great disposition to play the corner. So, I mean, Max Melton is a really intriguing player. I mentioned I love Rook Aroro from Clemson. I think he could be a high second round pick. I really think Michael Hall is a tremendous player. He could be a high second round pick. Braden Fisk could be a high second round pick. Jeremiah Trotter and Cedric Gray, 2 of the better linebackers.